Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Luraboro in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Well, it is great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us on Sportsline Trivia for this particular evening. I get a lot in my mind about umpiring in that Pittsburgh, Colorado weekend series, but I guess we'll have some calls. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about it. I think it stunk for the most part.
Yeah.
When it went against us, that's when it does stink.
Well, that's all I care about. You know, I love it when they say, get it right. No, I want it to go my way. I'm not concerned about getting it right. I want it to go my way. And in this case, not only did they get it wrong, but it went against us.
Right.
Strike two against both against well, whichever. You get a Welke brother behind the plate. I mean, it's like the Hefner brothers in wrestling. You never know what's going to happen there. There could be run-ins from the other dugout in that case.
We do have a phone number, 724-236-0430. Am I doing better?
That's great.
I
have it right here on my little book.
I do mine without a safety net.
Every week, there'll be a time during the week. Now we record the show live on Monday night. For those of you watching on Thursday, come and go to your computer and watch the show on Monday night at 6 o'clock, because then you can call 724-236-0430. But anyway, at some point during the week, maybe it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, in an idle moment when I have a meeting.
You run into somebody.
I'll think of the number. I'll think of the number, and then I'll say to myself, we just need to get it taped right under the camera up there, or have it sitting on top of our monitor that's in front of us. And then, while we sit here for an hour before, it never comes to my mind until right now. I'm going to walk right out there during the commercial, and I'm going to put it right there.
Anyway, folks, that's the number, 724-236-0430. Good to have you with us. We do have a caller online, but let's do the rules and the regulations. We'll take a break, and then we're going to be coming back with the call momentarily. We did send out prizes, and Buffalo Bills Roadhouse was one of them. Anyway, you're watching the rules and regulations as I'm chit-chatting here. Grand Salami or the mystery profile can only be won once in a calendar month. It's one or the other. And you can try the mystery profile but once a month. That way we get to have other people have the opportunity to do so. Multiple choice questions at 15, Grand Salami at 20, mystery profile. We try to go quickly, clue by clue. And if you've not watched the show in the last year, we consider you a first-time caller. And first-time callers do get more than one prize. And as a matter of fact, let's say you're a first-time caller and you get the Grand Salami. There's about $125 worth of prizes. We still throw in another one. A few bucks more.
Excellent.
So, anyway, also the answers to those trivia questions are on my website, which is doubledribblebob.com. And I have a radio program that is on every Saturday. We're going to be starting our 6th year come Labor Day weekend. WAVL, 9:10 on the dial, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. Okay? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and we'll be talking with caller number 1. And a reminder, we have another line open at 724-236-0430. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a 4th generation. The Rasevich family serves the AK Valley from 2 locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square. And there is a great opportunity for you, if you'll take a moment. Register now for free IRS-approved tax school. The flexible schedules, convenient location, and fun classes will qualify you for continuing education credits. Call today. The courses start September the 9th. The phone number is 724-230-8000. 724-230-8000. Liberty Tax Service of Natrona Heights. They provide a full accounting service, and they're open all year round. Okay, I think we're going to go to the phones and see who might be up and welcome that person aboard. Thank you for tuning in. And a pleasant hello from Sportsline Trivia.
Hey, hello guys, it's Mr. Tampa Bay.
Hey, good to hear from you.
Yep. How you guys been?
We've been good. How about you?
Good, I've been moving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going down to Bellsville, Pennsylvania.
Now, where is that near?
That's near Bentleyville,
Okay,
right off of 70.
I got you.
Let me ask, as long, because he was in Iraq.
Right.
Okay. Did you meet Megan, let me think of her last name now. She's a cheerleader for the St. Louis Cardinals. She was a second lieutenant and spent 16 months in Iraq. Celebrated young lady. No?
No.
Okay. I tell you what, she's got a great picture on the Arizona Cardinal website.
You're gonna have a story on this coming up.
I've got a story on her coming up.
Looking
He's a
forward.
great patriot. But anyway, go ahead.
Hey, what's up with the Buccos? I mean, today, this series coming up Thursday is do or die for them.
Well, no, it's absolutely not. And that is, if you remember, back when they played the Cardinals just recently here, back at the end of July, and everybody put all the focus on it. The Pirates did really well when they won 4 out of 5. Well, the Cardinals had lost before that. They were in Atlanta, they got beaten, they came to Pittsburgh and were beaten, and they had lost, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 in a row before the end of that series. Well, you could have said that it was, that was do or die for the Cardinals. Well, if they win 3 in a row this week, they're back in first place, so it really wasn't. There's still almost 2 months to go, so it's not do or die, but it's not do or die at all. And frankly, they have a series just as important this weekend against Arizona.
Right.
So all the games are important right now, and I hopefully they'll be able to come back after that weekend, which. We'll see. Was it just one of those things, or was it the start of something bad? I don't know. We'll see.
What did you think of the umpiring yesterday?
I think it was a joke.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That's what ruins all the Pirates' seasons for the last 2 years. 2 years ago was the Atlanta Braves home plate call, and that caused a run yesterday with that balk put on third base with a sacrifice fly.
I mean, that guy just made that up. I mean, there was no. His automatic instinct had to be, well, there's no way he did that right to get the guy out by that much. So he had to do something wrong, so he's going to call a balk. And then when you looked at the replay, he did absolutely everything right. And Bob Locke made the point on TV that he's not even sure that you need to step off in that case. That you're trying to make a play on a runner. He wasn't trying to deceive anyone. He was trying to get the guy out. That if he would have just thrown the ball to third, he would have been within his rights to do that. So either way, it was just completely messed up. But I was talking to somebody last night. They were going to lose that game no matter how. If they would have tied the game in the ninth or gone ahead in the ninth, they would have lost in the bottom of the ninth yesterday. They were going to lose that game yesterday.
They shouldn't have never lost Saturday, though.
Oh, no, that was terrible. That was the worst game of the year.
6-4, is that
Yes.
the one?
That was the worst game of the year as far, in my opinion, so far. They blew that. Well, AJ Burnett blew the game, frankly. But here's the key, Bill. They just didn't hit. I mean, you go into Coors Field and you're expected you're going to score some runs. And they had 4 on Saturday, but they scored 1 run on Friday and 2 runs yesterday. That just isn't enough. And this
They got to score.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it came as a surprise. Oh, they didn't score. Well, no kidding. When you don't go make a deal, when you have a chance to make a deal, those things are going to happen. But Andrew Lambeau is coming tomorrow. He's being called up. So 31 homers in the minors, so all is well. Andrew Lambeau, who said while he was still in A-ball that he was going to break Pete Rose's hit record. At least he's humble.
What's he play? Outfield?
He plays outfield. He's been playing right field and first base. He played a lot of first base in the middle of the summer, but then when it became more clear that they were going to need him up here, they moved him to right field, and he's been playing there for about the last month. So that's probably where he will play.
He has 117 RBIs, doesn't he?
And 31 homers, exactly. He leads minor league baseball in home runs and RBIs. And Neil Huntington, I heard a couple of weeks ago on his show, and these aren't cheap because Indianapolis is not an offensive ballpark. So you would figure that, with the short porch in right field at Pittsburgh, that he may be able to do some damage. And sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle with a guy like this. That you're having a great year in the minors, you come up, and sometimes it translates to the big leagues for a while. In fact, they don't need him to have a great year now. They need him to have a month. If anybody that follows the Yankees will remember Shane Spencer in 1998. He had a month. Now they didn't need him because they won 118 games anyway, or whatever it was. But he batted nearly 400, and that's what they kind of need out of Andrew Lambeau right now. And the other thing is he's only 25. I believe his birthday was just the other day, so it's not like he's old. He's not like
they just need him for the run.
Yeah, they're going to need him for the run, and hopefully, any help he can give, because right field's just been a complete disaster for them this year. And the fact that they've been able to do what they've been able to do, getting no production out of right field, has been amazing.
Well, I got the Pirates winning the division by 3 games anyway.
Well, that means that it'll just stay level the rest of the way. I'm good with that.
We have some people who no longer call the show that have always said, we're doomed forever.
And it will never happen again.
The cup is always half full.
I always said that I would like to live long enough.
Empty.
I would like to live long enough to see the Pirates participate in one more playoff game.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that I get a chance here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, you will.
I hope you're right.
I also ran into Limo Man the other day for the first time. I met him. Interesting guy.
Very much.
He knows his stuff.
He does. He absolutely, and he knows a lot of people too.
And I'm going to go for multiple choice.
No,
I'll get off the air.
All right, here we go. For Mr. Tampa Bay. So what do you think of the Tampa Bay Bucks this year? You think any improvements coming?
I think they're going to do good. They're going to do better than the Steelers.
I don't know about that.
The Steelers are going to go 6-10.
By the way, but make sure that he knows we also do the mystery profile. He may not be aware of that.
Right. We do have a mystery profile if you'd like to try that.
Not today.
Not today. Multiple choice?
Multiple choice.
We're ready. Here we go. Who was the only American leaguer? We need number 6, guys. That's what we're starting with tonight. Who was the only, I'll read it for you while they dial it. Who's the only American leaguer to win a batting title in a season in which he had no home runs? The only American leaguer to win a batting title in a season in which he had no home runs.
That's still not the right one up there.
Yeah, that's not right. I'll just read it to you here, Tampa, and I'll give you the choices.
All right.
Rod Carew, Julio Franco, Wade Boggs, or Ichiro Suzuki. Only American League batting title with no homers.
Wade Boggs.
That is not correct. The answer is Rod Carew.
Rod Carew.
Which you can understand that. It makes sense, right? It was a guy he sprayed it around a little bit. All right, Tampa, it was good hearing from you.
It was nice talking to you guys. You guys take care. I'm going to watch the show.
Hey, we'll see you at the hot dog guys.
Will do.
Thanks for calling.
All right. Bye-bye.
One of the regular visitors.
A regular visitor.
To the hot dog guys who have their stand.
Well, we had the Steeler game the other night, too. We haven't had a chance to get into that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Steelers played their first exhibition game. It was really blah.
How much stock can you put in? It's, these exhibition games are to test the rookies, obviously. I mean, that's the purpose. I've had people tell me that they don't even want to talk about
I enjoy watching
the games.
I enjoy watching. It's a nice
Because they
respite.
mean nothing.
It's a nice. Well, yeah. If they lose, it doesn't bother me then.
Exactly,
So
which
that was
they
good
did
too.
here.
They did
Yeah.
lose, right? They special teams were a bit of a disaster though. But David Gilreath had a night he'd like to forget. Dropped a punt, caught a punt inside the end zone to bring it out. That got them stuck there. They ended up with a safety.
Do you remember
They
Williams?
had a punt blocked because it was the second punt, which I always remember the immortal words of Tunchilkin, and Josh Miller always says it too, that nothing good ever happens on the second punt, that if you have to punt it again, something bad's bound to happen. And they ended up getting a second punt blocked, which is, so Danny Smith is the new special teams coach. He came from the Redskins. And he wasn't exactly liked there. And it's funny with special teams coaches. I think you put them all in a hat.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull one out, and you say, okay, I'm going to have that guy, and then it's really no reflection on him as a coach. That so many things can happen, and he leaves Washington under a cloud, and it was terrible. And you can bring him in here, and he'll probably do a good job. And the same thing happens. We've had guys here that got fired. They went someplace else, and they were like just fine. They did an okay job.
Who's our next opponent, by the way?
Next, they play the Redskins. That'll be a week from tonight, Monday night, at Washington.
In Washington,
And that's
right.
a Monday night game on ESPN. No Robert Griffin, of course. He's still out with that knee. But
They're not expected to do all that well this year.
well, they won the division last year, and the question now is that they did that playing an easier schedule, and now they'll have a more difficult schedule since they did win. And that division's always a crapshoot. You never know. We got to look at the Giants on Friday, but like you said, Saturday. But like you said, we don't know. We don't know much because their starters didn't play much. Eli Manning got to throw a long touchdown pass over the outstretched hands of William Gay, who it wasn't his fault. Actually, it was the safeties. It's like that's what kills me on a play like that. Everybody's crushing William Gay. It's his first game back, and Victor Cruz, who's done this to a lot of people, gets behind William Gay and catches it for a touchdown while our safeties are in pursuit. It's like, I thought the safeties were supposed to be behind the guy. That's why they call them safeties. And Polamalu even said after the game, my fault. So, lay off of William Gay on that one. There'll be plenty of other chances to torch William Gay. That probably wasn't it. But we didn't get to see much of the Giants starters either.
Right.
They weren't going to get Eli hurt. Just same with Ben, So,
As my wife and I are sitting there watching the game, she's, well, when are they going to put Eli in? I want to watch.
people like Eli. People like Eli, exactly. They went to David Carr, who dropped the ball nicely right there so that Jarvis Jones could fall on it, which is really all I saw out of Jarvis Jones. I was, the reason I watched the game is because I want to see the new players, the guys that were drafted, the rookies, or maybe second year players to see if they've progressed from the year before. So Jarvis Jones, with all this publicity, #1 pick. And I heard today, you'll find this interesting, the last Steeler outside linebacker to start game one as a rookie was Jack Ham.
We'll be done.
So that means
It
Greg
does matter.
Boyd didn't, and Jason Gilden didn't, and Joey Porter didn't, and you just start going through the list of names, and James Harrison didn't, and Lamar Ridley didn't. So but none of those guys were first-round picks either.
Plus, he had 2 successive penalties called against him, too.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty. If you're a coach, there was plenty to pick apart. I'm sure the meetings were fun today for those guys to see what what's going on. But he didn't. I don't know. He tried to use the same move all the time. And in the NFL, they're gonna stop you, or they're gonna need him to get to the quarterback. And you were talking about worlds with the penalties. You should know that by now. And you could see Tomlin was ready for him when he came to the sideline. And he doesn't do that very often. That's not really Mike Tomlin's MO on the sidelines. As Cowher would have probably, grabbed him by the face mask, a la Frank Cush, and said, come here. And we're not allowed to do that anymore, probably. But, these guys, somebody's going to have to step up in that situation where they're going to need somebody to rush the passer. Here's another one. I love this. I just saw 56 fly by the screen, but it appeared much too skinny to be Lamar Woodley. But he was in bad shape last year, but they comes in, dropped all these pounds, and they expect, I love that, they expect us to believe that nothing was wrong last year. They go, boy, is he in great shape. Well, okay. But that had nothing to do with him being hurt. So hopefully a better year out of him, too. And a lot of that has to do with guys like Woodley. Polamalu is staying on the field and not being injured. I heard somebody say earlier today, well, they're old. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, there aren't that many guys that are, that are in their upper years on there. Kiesel, Polamalu. Look who they've lost just from last year. James Harrison, Casey Hampton gone. They have really cut back on the age on that team. So now the question is, can the guys that have come in to replace, Brett Kiesel's up there too, can the guys that come in there to replace those guys actually play as well as the old guys did when they were there? And that's where the question is going to be.
All right. Folks, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and hopefully you're going to be on the line with us, 724-236-0430. Back in a flash.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburns in Tarentum, Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys, Lower Borough.
Be sure that you visit Tower Auto Sales, Freeport Road in Blawnox. If you're shopping for a pre-owned vehicle, they do have the best products, the best selection, best customer communication, and best service after the sale. Call Mike Fanto, if you would please, 412-828-6202. Just buy it at Tower Auto Sales. Again, folks, we welcome you to the program if you're just tuning in. Bob Tattern here with Mike Pavlik, and we'll be here until, for the next, what is that, Mike, 38 minutes or so?
38 of them.
Thereabouts. So you still have an opportunity to
Please
get
call.
in here.
And again, I'm striving to start stressing this to you people watching on Thursday, because I know you're there because you tell me.
Right. Call Monday.
Yeah. Go to doubledribblebob.com. And you slide right in. There's a place to click on there. You can click to the show.
And it doesn't cost anything.
It's absolutely free. You can do it here. You can do it in Zanzibar. It doesn't matter where you are. and you can call and participate. Or if you don't want to line up online, just remember the number 724-236-0430. Jot it down on your wrist in ink, and give us a call on Monday night between 6 and 7. We'll take the call. You can hear what's going on the line while you're waiting, and then join in.
Let's talk briefly before the phone call, if I could, about Mattio's Pizza in Brackenridge Heights. Everything on Mattio's menu is made with quality ingredients. Their hand-tossed pizzas, gyro sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wingdings, and a lot more. Mattio's Pizza and Subs has it all, including their signature Iron Man hoagie. That's Mattio's at 1000 Broadview Boulevard, Brackenridge Heights, 724-904-7312. Okay, let's go to the phones, and I think they said Rich was up next. Good evening. Hello? 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 Pardon me. Can you hear us?
No, it's the limo man.
Oh, hey, Ron. How are you?
Doing okay.
That's good.
You see about the Hall of Fame nominees,
Did you hear about the Hall of Fame what?
the people that got their thing in Kent.
Oh, yes, that last week.
Dave Robinson, Larry Allen, Bill Parcells, Curly Culp, and Warren Sapp.
Yes, some of those guys. Curly Culp is a favorite from the 70s. Started off with Kansas City, and then went on to the Houston Oilers. I remember him And some of those guys, Warren Sapp, I don't have a whole lot of use for. I'm still trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out how Warren Sapp's a Hall of Famer on the first ballot, and we're still trying to get the fourth leading rusher of all time in.
John Ogden, too.
John Ogden, I met Limo at one of the biggest human beings I've ever met in my life. It was at the Pirates were playing the Orioles at Camden Yards. It must have been about 5 years ago. I'm not even sure how long ago it was. And they had honored him that night because he had just retired, and the timing fits about 5 years, right? And he goes into the Hall of Fame now. He threw out the first ball, and I'm walking back to my seat with a thing of nachos, and there he was. And I stopped. I said, "Excuse me, sir, I have to shake your hand." And I said, "You can imagine the size disparity between that guy and me, right?" And I told her, I said, "I just want to say that I'm a Steeler fan. Don't look at me funny, and I'll see you in Canton." He laughed and thought that was pretty cool. So he seemed like a really nice guy. And
Patrick Ewing is 51 years old.
Patrick Ewing is 51.
Yeah.
I'm getting into good company, I guess.
What am I going to do to stop these birthdays?
And a good friend of mine passed away. Nothing to do with sports, but her name is Edie Gourmet.
Yeah, we saw that this weekend.
I was shocked.
Edie Gourmet had passed away.
84 years old. I sent roses to the house today.
Oh, that's nice. She married to Steve Lawrence for over 50 years.
Yeah, his real name is Sidney Leibowitz.
Right.
One of the few Hollywood marriages that lasted
It stuck it out.
that long.
Like they had a son. They had a son that was killed.
No, he was OD.
Is that what it was? And then they stopped performing for like over a year while that happened. That was such a shock to them that they basically shut down for a long time.
His other son, David Lawrence, conducts for Steve with Tony Mottola, the guitar player.
Tony Mottola played for Frank for years.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of the Hall of Fame, that Hall of Fame could have been in Latrobe because that is where the first,
There's a plaque right there.
first pro football contract ever signed was Latrobe. And the story that I heard, and I don't know the politics of this, was that they just took too long to decide because they were saying, do you want it or don't you?
Right.
And they just never responded.
And frankly, if you've ever been to Canton, it's not exactly the biggest metropolitan area. It's right off the Hall of Fame's right off the interstate. It's nice. It's really,
It's a real nice place.
It really is. I'll tell you what, and that is, and it's affordable. It's not ridiculous on price. You can get coupons. I'm a subscriber to their online, the Hall of Fame's online service, and then you can get like 2-for-1s on tickets, and it's just great. And you walk into the room with those busts, something happens to you.
Marty Brenneman will be coming here with the Reds on Radio on 700 WLW.
Really, tell him to leave his kid at home when he comes.
Huh?
Tell him to leave his kid at home when he comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want Tom to come. Just Marty can show up.
Just Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah. His son Tommy got balled out by Marty.
I bet he did. I bet he did.
Big time.
I bet. Well, what are you going to do? See, like I said, Tom Brenneman does a good job on the national stuff, doing a football game on Fox or whatever, and that's fun. But by the way, speaking of Fox, I don't know, you might have an idea about this. With golf, the golf is happening this weekend. The USGA signed the rights over for the U.S. Open to Fox. They've taken the rights away from NBC. So no more Johnny Miller. Yay! But anyway, who do you think Fox is going to go with to be their lead golf announcer? Now, it already came up this weekend that they have approached Greg Norman to be the analyst. And that makes sense. I get that. But if Fox is going to go into the golf business, I mean, do you think we're going to have to suffer through Joe Buck on golf?
Probably.
Probably. That's what I was thinking too. It's like it was with Kurt Gowdy. If it's there, he has to do it. So.
Jim Nance was just here.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, I picked him up. He went to see his in-laws in Mount Lebanon.
Well, that makes perfect sense then.
Yeah.
He was.
Good tipper.
You mentioned that. Yeah, he said. Ramon, you said it, and I have it from two separate sources that don't know each other. A friend of mine met him, and he was just the nicest guy in the world. So we always like to hear stories about that, about the guys that are nice, because you run into enough of them.
He had to pay his first wife $1 million a year.
Holy smokes. Well, there's good news and bad news to that. The good news is he must be making enough that he can afford to pay $1 million a year. So that's not the worst thing in the world.
But Your Honor, I can't live on anything less than that. It's my lifestyle, and
I wonder what he probably told him, but he's married to a nice Jewish girl.
There you go. It works out for him anyway.
Let's get to trivia.
AMC at 8 o'clock, the original Godfather.
Is it on tonight?
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
I might have to catch a little bit.
Thanks for the social calendar.
I love that.
You ready for trivia?
Yeah, multiple choice, please.
Multiple. I've got you down for question number 7.
You're up.
Am I up?
You
Okay.
in.
All right, name the first major leaguer born outside the United States to have 50 or more home runs in a season. And your choices are David Ortiz, Sammy Sosa, Luis Gonzalez, and Alex Rodriguez.
I'll say Alex Rodriguez
You're wrong. Sammy Sosa.
with the Cubs.
Yep, 50 or more. The first major leaguer that was born outside the United States to have 50 homers in a season.
Or as the late,
Good question,
or
by
as the
the
late
way.
Senator Kennedy called him, Sammy Souser.
All right, Linda Man, give us your call.
There's a long drive in deep right center field, and this ball is for Bob Tattern and Babe.
All right, thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Okay.
Good evening.
Long time no talk.
Bob?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I just want to give a holler and see what you guys haven't been tuning in, but you listen to the radio and you talk to your friends, and it's suicide watch for the Pirates. They're waiting for the blackout.
Every loss. You know, I've been the first guy that's been on that, and only because I'm just looking at the numbers, and you know, it's the same guys. So you can't tell me they're not capable of it happening to them, because they are, and they've proven it twice. So, but I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I'm not feeling the bottom falling out, and I'd like, you know, this week's going to be a big week, because, as I told the caller earlier, that, you know, not only, it was your brother actually, not only is the series against St. Louis big, but those are 3 very, very important games against Arizona on the weekend. For 2 reasons. First of all, that's the team that's going to clinch you a playoff spot if you finish ahead of them. And second of all, that's the only 3 games they have at home in 2 weeks. And they're proving right now to be not a very good road team and a very, very good home team. So those 3 games I think are very important, and we'll see what happens against the Cardinals, though. It's going to be very interesting and even going back to last year. Now, the Pirates won the season series against the Cardinals last year. It's a team they match up well with. The Pirates hit their pitchers, and they even moved Wainwright around. Now, you know, I think this is kind of early for this, but Matheny actually held Wainwright back from his start over the weekend to pitch him tomorrow. But you know, if you look at the stats and look at the numbers, his ERA lifetime against the Pirates is well over 4, and he's a great pitcher.
Yeah. You take 1 out of 3 in St. Louis, you're ahead of the game. You come on up 2.
That's exactly what
Let's do it on the first game, please.
Anytime you go in with a lead now, this late in the season, if you go in with a lead, all you got to do is win 1. Then you come home, you're 2 games ahead. And like I said, those 3 against Arizona are kind of going to get lost in all this, and those are going to be very important. Now, you can actually pretty much sew up yourself a playoff spot if you. This week is going to be very big.
Absolutely, but you know, this town, they relate to football, so I always say to these people that doom and gloom, number 1, pitching's a lot better this year, but number 2, defense and running game is portable in the NFL, pitching is portable in Major League Baseball, and yeah, they collapsed the last 2 years, but they didn't have the arms the last 2 years that they have this year, and I feel a lot more comfortable with the pitching that they have, and they're running out there every day. You know, and plus this kid here is coming up, not that he's a savior, but he might inject some enthusiasm into the bats that they're calling up from minor leagues tomorrow.
Yeah, there's one thing I haven't checked on, and I wanted to have a little bit of data on this. Home attendance this year at this game time compared to last. How far ahead are we?
Well, I think they may
With
have,
all the sellouts.
They may have gone ahead. They were still a little bit behind, and before the Marlins series, that they were just a little bit behind. But they'll catch it and pass it. I heard Coonley say that they're looking at 2.2, 2.3.
And just to further that, I've been on a leave of absence because of my job and our son and everything, but I'm going back in September. I will tell you all you need to know about the attendance. On a Thursday afternoon game, Thursday afternoon in Pittsburgh at 33,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and this is all it was ever going to take. You know, people always question whether this was a baseball town or not, and But this was all it was ever going to take. It's there, and the people still care, and people still, and the people my age and your age and Bob and everybody, we still have an affinity for the team. We've never lost the fact that we love the Pirates. That's never gone anywhere, and it was just needed to be reawakened, so to speak. And I'll tell you what's getting me through without having suicide watch, and that is, and the last 20 years have helped me greatly in this regard, and this is what it is, that I've learned over the last 20 years of it being so awful to take each game separately as its own separate little entity. And I've always had friends say, how can you still watch the games in September? And I said, because I'm watching tonight's game for tonight's game and nothing else. There's just as much of a chance they win tonight as they lose because it's baseball. You never know. And so I've been able to compartmentalize each game about as well as I could for each of the last 20 years. So now when things start to go a little bit downhill,
Well, here's some more food for that thought, for your ways, Mike. A couple weeks ago, who would have thought we would have won 4 out of 5 out of St. Louis versus St. Louis, and we'd be up, go from 1.5 down to 3 or 4 up. So, as good as that happened, when you play 162 games, you're going to get swept, you're going to get beat by a team that you shouldn't. But at the end of the day, I'm comfortable with wherever you are, and I'm looking forward to the pitch and taking us through.
Yeah, I'm just looking, it's like, there would be times when I would be dreading these 3 games the next 3 days. I'm really looking forward to them. Just to see how they react. Because really, that's what this is all about with them right now. It isn't that they aren't good enough to do it. They are good enough to do it. They were good enough to do it last year, frankly. But the 6 inches between their ears is what wasn't good enough. And that's what we're testing right now. We're testing the 6 inches in between all those guys' ears. And especially the third baseman who's off in Zanzibar or something. We mentioned, he's gone sometimes. I don't know, I don't complain about him at the plate because you know what you're going to get. But I don't like, when a bunt is laid down with a guy on first and he's running to cover third because he thinks there's 2 guys on. That bothers me.
Yeah.
And he needs to clean up.
He's immature, he's grown, but I can tell you this, I will challenge him. He had a knucklehead throw yesterday into the seats, but I can tell you this, watch him do it throughout the course of the year, and I challenge you to find a person playing better third base and making more spectacular plays than him. He's come a long way with his defense.
He makes a lot of great plays. I just wish he'd clean up the mental end of it. That's the part. But that's all.
We got to get the trivia.
It's all of them. That is what this is all about right now. It's about keeping it together up here. If they can do that, I think they're going to be fine.
Hey, Bob, we got to get to your trivia. What's your pleasure tonight?
What's available? Everything?
Yep, everything.
Everything's up.
I'll try the Grand Salami.
Lovely. Okay, numbers 1 through 5, all available. Pick one.
5, I guess.
5 it is. Here we go. Who was the only player to homer in the regular season, the All-Star Game, a Division Series, League Championship Series, and the World Series, all in the same year? I'll do that one more time. It's everything. He homered in everything. Regular season All-Star Game, Division Series, League Championship Series, and World Series, all in the same year.
I have no clue, but just going current and going Yankees and going Mr. Captain, I'll guess Derek Jeter.
That is not it. But there's a Yankee connection to this. Sandy Alomar Jr., 1997. And I could tell you this, that the home run he hit in the League Championship Series basically won the pennant for the Indians and knocked the Yankees out with the possibility of winning, what would it have been, 6 World Series in a row.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he hit the home run off of Rivera. They brought him in to get a 4-out save. He had a home run in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs to right center field. I'll never forget, landed up on that ledge on the outfield, out right field at Cleveland. Landed up on that ledge and went out. And Torrey didn't bring Rivera back to pitch the 9th. They lost that game, and he said, well, I had to save him for Game 5. He was never needed in Game 5 because the Indians went out and won it and won the series, and off they went. Went on to the World Series and lost to Florida.
Okay, good try, Robert.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks for your call. Break time on the program. It is, we've got about 20 minutes to go when we return, and you get on the line with us at 724-236-0430. Back in a flash.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps, and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Hey, do yourself a favor, register now for free IRS-approved tax school. You can go to school for free. Flexible schedules, convenient location, fun classes that qualify for continuing education credits. Call today. Courses start September the 9th. Call 724-230-8000. Liberty Tax Service in Natrona Heights. A full accounting service that's open all year round. And don't forget my radio program Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. WAVL Radio, they're 9:10 on the AM dial. Rich in Cheswick, or is it Chris? Who's up first? Chris? Rich is up first. Okay, Rich, how are you?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Rich.
Good.
Hey, this here guy they're bringing up now, is he a lefty or righty?
Left-handed hitter. He was in the Dodgers. He was in the Dodgers system originally. I believe he came over in the trade that brought James McDonald over here when they traded Octavio Dotel to the Dodgers. So it was a good minor league hitter and had average. He hit for average, but never a lot of power. But this year the power's kind of come out of nowhere after he had spent probably 3-4 years in Double-A. Kept having to repeat it, and now all of a sudden something clicked, and so he's going to get his chance, and it's not as if they don't need somebody to come up there and help them out. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure he'll get a chance to play. He's not going to come up and sit on the bench. I wouldn't figure. There's no reason to do that. So we'll see starting tomorrow night in St. Louis. Not that they're not just going to throw him into the fire here.
Right.
Here we go. Here's the pennant race, now go hit. So
Maybe he can hit one in the river on the fly.
it would be nice. I'll take wall scrapers at this point. I'll take a sacrifice fly. I'll take a double with the bases loaded, or I'll take getting hit by a pitch with the bases loaded and not trying to get out of the way. Not trying to get out of the way of it or something. So at this point, whatever they get is a plus.
Well, all of a sudden they're getting some sacrifice flies.
Yeah, they are. Isn't it weird? They didn't have any for like 2 months, and now that's all they do is hit a sacrifice fly. They have not been good with the bases loaded this year. Coming into this year, if you looked at their stats, batting averages and RBIs per at bat, they have a team full of guys that are just great with the bases loaded. Mm-hmm. And this year it's not been very good. It's all these things I guess tend to even out.
Hey, when Rodriguez comes back, what's your theory on him maybe going with a 6-man rotation?
Well, the first question, Rich, is when is it going to be? And I'm still on if here, but I guess everything's been going okay so far. The last I heard that it probably wouldn't be until mid-September. Now, there are 2 things to think about with that. That if he comes back, if he is healthy and can pitch like he can pitch, he definitely goes into the rotation, and I'm sure he's in the plans for them to pitch in the postseason if they get there. And the second thing that goes into that, into your 6-man rotation idea, is Garrett Cole. A, how is he pitching? And B, how many innings has he thrown, or are they getting to the point where they want to try to be careful with that? Now, they said that they think that they ought to be able to go the whole year without having to be shut down. But my question is, does there come a point where maybe later on in the season he could become more valuable to them in the bullpen? think about how hard he could throw the ball if he only has to pitch to 1, 2, or 3 batters a night. You know, could that be a possibility for them? Tampa Bay's done this. They did it with David Price. They did it with Moore, the young left-hander, last year when it gets late in the season and maybe into the postseason. It's a thought, and I don't know if they're going to want to go with 6. And another thing to throw in too, Rich, and another thing that makes it a good question is, where are they in the standings when he comes back? Have they, by some miracle, sewn everything up? And then maybe a 6-man rotation is a good idea to give everybody a rest. They've done it before. They did it last year. So it's not out of the question that they might think about it. But I think you have to look at how, you're also going to have to look at how Garrett Cole is pitching and what his innings total is by then.
So they're skipping him this week till Friday.
They skipped them against the Cardinals. They're not going to let him pitch until Friday, I think, which is, again, that's another way of trying to avoid the situation that Washington got into last year with Strasburg. They set the guy down, and it kind of, you know, because they were going to be there every year. And well, this year's not, you know, funny thing happened to the World Series, on the way to the World Series for them. They're not going to get back this year, and Strasburg pitched a complete game shutout the other night. I bet they wish they had that last October.
And even James McDonald, there's a possibility maybe he might come back. It all depends on how his simulated game's going to go.
Right, he's supposed to get going and see if they can get him back, which would be as a bullpen pitcher, I'm guessing. Because in September, as we all know, you can expand your roster up to 40, and anybody that's on the 40-man roster you can bring up. And you know you can never have too. You know it's not like you're going to have too many guys around. And a guy like him, if he did come up, would probably be used in a game like the other night when they were getting blown out. It's like, you know, go out and get us a couple innings, and we can rest the guys that we need to pitch in games that we're competitive in. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't see any meaningful role for McDonald, and especially into the future. I think that after this year, they probably just cut ties with him.
Hey, did you see this Usher is 95 years old for Pirates?
Yeah, I've been trying to make contact with him for a couple of months, and you know, with my health problem, with my bad knees, I can't guarantee that I'm going to get a parking spot at the curb at PNC Park.
It's actually talking to the guy, yeah.
But he lives in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh, and I have offered, we have never spoken, but I want to get some history from this guy about the Pirates, 95 years of age, sharp as a tack. I want to take him out to lunch in Oakland if I can. In fact, Bob, who was on the line with us, is trying to facilitate it to a degree, but for some reason, I've never spoken to this guy.
How about that?
But yeah, but he's seen it all.
There's a lot of good places to eat down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. There are a lot of places you can't go wrong in Oakland.
There's a Vietnamese restaurant that is just out of sight.
Around the corner of town there.
Really?
Well, he saw Babe Ruth's last 3 home runs, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Things.
Yeah, he did.
90.
That's amazing. What was that, like 1938?
30, yeah.
38, something like that?
35. He died in 38.
Yeah.
Boy, that goes
Okay,
back
guys,
a
want
lot.
to go for multiple choice?
Multiple
Is
choices.
it my
Bob, I
turn?
believe
Yeah.
you're up. Yes.
Okay. You get question number 8. Name the first Major League rookie to start in an All-Star game. And here are your choices. Lefty Gomez, Joe DiMaggio, Frankie Frisch, and Pepper Martin.
How about Frankie Frisch?
No, it was Joe DiMaggio in 1936. In fact, in his 13 years of playing, he made the All-Star team every year. And I think when in 36, it was the 4th time the All-Star game had been played. 36, 35, 34, 33.
The first
Right.
one was in
It
Chicago.
was the 4th All-Star game period. So, Rich, good try. All right?
Okay, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Thanks
I
for calling,
appreciate
as
that.
always. We're
Okay.
getting shut out on trivia tonight, huh?
Yeah, not a prize.
Not a winner yet. What's going
Let's
on?
take a break. We're coming back. Mike and I will return momentarily. Okay, back in a flash is what I'm saying tonight for whatever reason. I don't know. It's stuck in my
Channeling
mind.
Coke. Back in a flash.
Back in a flash. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go.
Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Hyden Tire under the bridge in Toronto and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
Lexus products are featured at Tower Auto Sales, and that's not all that they've got. They've got everything. Let their experienced sales staff help you in the selection of your next pre-owned vehicle. 40 years at the same location. You can call Mike Fanto at 412-828-6202. Okay, the answers to the trivia questions are on my website, doubledribblebob.com. Let's go to Chris on the phone. Chris, good evening.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Mike. How you guys?
Hi, Chris.
Okay.
I think the Steelers are going to maybe prevail between 8 and 5. It's going to be maybe 8 and 5 if they win, but they're not going to win the. They might be starting the dark to playoffs. From what I see, I think it's going to be a bad preseason game anyway.
It wasn't a good game. No, it wasn't. But a lot of first preseason games aren't. Like I said, I've been more optimistic than most, but I'm going to need to see a little bit more out of some of the rookies to see that they're going to be able to contribute. And the other thing is injuries. That, first team wise, they may be able to hang with some of these teams now, but their depth is going to be challenged in some places. Now, on the other hand, I saw some good depth from linebackers. Inside linebackers played well in the second half, so that was good to see. There might be some people there. The Stevenson-Sylvester injury doesn't seem to be too serious, that it was just an ankle injury, not a high ankle sprain, but a low ankle sprain, and he says he can only be out for a couple of days. That's the only time you saw anybody let off the field. So that was a good thing. They lost offensive lineman today in practice. Justin Cheadle's the guy's name. He did play a little bit on Saturday night, but fingers crossed, they did okay there, but they came in with a bunch of boo-boos, and Le'Veon Bell didn't play, and they're just completely depleted at tight end right now. So they're going to need to get some of those guys healthy and get back in there. But so that nothing that happened in the first game changes the way I feel about them. I still think that they can be a 10-6, maybe at the outside 11-5 team, and a chance to make the playoffs. But they're going to need health, and I think they're going to need a good start. Because there's one thing people forget is that they had a collapse last year that was every bit as bad as the Pirates was. They were 6-3 at one point and then completely fell apart down the stretch.
But we can't forget the year that they started out at 0-4 and went on to win everything.
Well, they didn't win the Super Bowl because they won the division and pitched a bunch of shutouts. And Noel said that was his best team, 76.
As far as the Pirates losing this weekend, I think that was expected because they never do well against that team anyway.
No, they don't, and it's not a good place to play either. That is truly a home field advantage out there that the Rockies have, and the Pirates just don't play well against them.
And I don't know,
for whatever reason, you can't put a finger on it. It's just sometimes it's a certain way the teams are put together in baseball. A bad team can have a better team's number.
Yeah.
And I just don't think. I think if anything, we're not gonna win the total series against St. Louis. I think it's gonna be a split. I think it might be end up as a split.
I can't hear them at all. Do you guys have a switch on or something in the back? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead again.
No problem, Bob. What I was saying is I don't think the Pirates are going to take or win. They might split the series, but I don't think they're going to win that series. I think there's strengths on each one of those teams, but I don't think the Pirates may get knocked out of first place this week.
Well, like Bob
Right.
said, they really need to win one. You know what we need to do? Maybe next week we can do this. We're going to ask everybody when they come on, after this week is over and we kind of have a reading on it, what they think is going to happen the rest of the season. Are they convinced they win 82? Are they convinced they make the playoffs? Are they convinced they win the division? How far is your confidence with this team
I
gone?
think some of our people, maybe Chris.
I'm convinced that they might just win the division at least.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy with that.
There's enough evidence out there to say that you might be right.
Hey, Chris, we got to jump to trivia because we have one more person to get to.
Multiple choice, please.
All right, Chris, here we go. What Hall of Fame pitcher has the most wins without ever pitching a no-hitter? What Hall of Fame pitcher has the most wins without ever pitching a no-hitter? Cy Young, Walter Johnson, Grover Cleveland Alexander, or Ferguson Jenkins?
Cy Young.
Nope, not it. Boy, we continue
That was
our streak. It's Grover Alexander won 373 games and pitched 0 no-hit, no-run games. Hard to believe,
All right.
especially
Hey, Chris.
back in the dead ball era.
Yeah, we got to run, Chris. Thanks for the call.
Thanks,
See you
Chris.
next week. Bye-bye.
All right, let's jump to Paul. Paul, we probably have about 2 minutes here in the studio, so.
Appreciate you hanging in.
Yeah, thanks for coming over again, and appreciate
with
you.
high school football coming in a couple of weeks, the single A champion Clareton, you think they'll go undefeated again this year, or how many seniors are coming back?
Well, they lost a lot of guys. There was some talk that Tom Nola was going to retire, who's been the coach there through this whole run, and he's had some heart problems through the years. I remember Tom Nola, Bob, we did games at Sarah Catholic,
Right.
and they would not win, and they would have no wins. And Sarah Catholic would come into Riverview, and Riverview would mercy rule them, and they were terrible. It's like, you have to have the horses, and Tom Nola has proven that. He's gone to Clareton, he's got great teams, and he does a great job with those kids. And from what people tell me, way more away from the football field than he does for them on the football field, and that's what you want to hear. But who's going to beat them in the WPIAL? They just, the streak is up to, it's over 50.
63?
Yeah, 63. It's the new record now. And now they're just adding on. They've won the state championship, I think, 3 years in a row, 4 maybe?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They lost some people.
They could probably beat a couple double A teams too.
They said they don't rebuild, they reload. They could beat some triple A teams.
Yeah, they
too,
reload.
Believe me. Yeah, they reload. They could beat some triple A teams too.
Must have some, and again, it goes back to the roots where you got to have a good youth program going on as well.
There's some question about Thomas, that Clareton, that the school district may be in a little bit of trouble like they did with Duquesne. They closed it down. And I was talking to Bill Cherpak, who's the coach of Thomas Jefferson, and they border Clareton. And I said, well, is there any word what would happen? Where would the kids go if, he goes, I don't know where all the kids go. He says, but I only need 3 or 4 of them. So he already had his sights set on.
Right.
Could you imagine Thomas Jefferson getting some of those Clareton kids?
Yeah.
Considering how they win over and over and over again. And Cherpak's a very entertaining guy if you ever had the chance to meet him. But so, I'm sure they'll be right up at the top again. I know this, that I'm pretty sure Mike White's been doing his previews and rankings, and I believe he had them at number 1 and 8 again for the start of the year. So,
and how do you think Alabama will do this year? Will they?
They're going to win a lot of games, Paul. They're going to
just stay away from Ohio State.
I have a guarantee. Okay, from me.
Oh,
Alabama will beat Texas A&M in that first game. I guarantee it. Now, I also am not exactly sure Johnny Manziel is going to play in it.
Right.
He's probably not. He probably shouldn't be allowed to. But even if Johnny Manziel plays, Alabama, I guarantee you, beats Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's your first college football prediction right here.
Okay.
All right, have a good day, thanks.
Paul was a $50 winner last week.
So he's not allowed to participate.
He's not going to participate on trivia. So, Paul, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. And we'll chat again in the very near future, I'm sure.
Yes, it'll be a big week for the Buccos, Bob. We'll see what happens.
About the only thing we resolved today is we've got important games.
I need to see another
the
week.
Cardinals and the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona D-backs.
That is correct.
So
those are going to be big.
And we're getting close to high school football, and I'm beginning to prep up and get.
You get the itch. I'm getting the itch too. Yeah. I'm getting the itch. I'm ready to go. Only a couple of weeks away.
Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Tattern.
Mike Pavlik.
We'll see you next week.
Sportsline brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Lynchburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toretto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl and Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.